Hello and welcome everyone to my YouTube video. I am a student at Emirates Center. This is my programming POE part 1. I'm a first year student. This is my project in which I was asked to create a program that takes user input. This is actually a login feature, alright. So obviously to take user input I have imported a java.util.scanner into my main class to allow user input, alright. Scan equals to new scanner. I have named it scanner scan, alright. So this is my main class, my name and all of the other things are here. This is my method class actually, and then this is my test class. Okay, so I'm gonna go through my method class first. I'm gonna explain the method, how the method works, and then I'm gonna go into my main class and explain how I have used the method. And one by one I will go through all of those methods like that, and then we'll go and test my methods, how the methods run, and then from there we will go into my test class and see if all of those methods are correct. Okay, so first of all I would like to start from my main class. In my main class, so our project asks us the user login, asks the user for their first name, alright. This first name is stored in string first name, alright. And in this right here I have added this to just create some cleanliness, or like make my code look better, make the output look better, alright. So just enter your first name stored here, and please enter your last name stored here, and then again this to just make the code look a little bit more better. So in this login feature, after entering our first name and last name, the user is required to enter a username, a cell phone and a password. The requirements for a username is that this is where the username is stored, by the way. The requirements for username is that the username is less than or equal to 5 characters long and contains a boolean, contains an underscore. For this user, for to create this, I have made it inside a boolean method, which is actually called check username, which contains a string inside its parameters non called username. Alright, so if, which is the if else statement, username dot length equals to less than or more than 5, equals to 5 or less, and username contains a underscore, then this dot username, which is right over here, is stored. This username that the username has put in right over here, this is the one that he puts in, gets stored inside here, inside there, alright. If it returns to be true, if it meets the conditions right over here, else it does not, it returns false, alright. So let me go into my main class and show you guys. Okay, so in my main class I have used these strings to capture user input, alright. So string username right over here, guys, keep this in mind, string username. Okay, so this is where I have made use of my first method. So like I have made use of while loops. Now while loops, I have made use of them from the advice of my teacher, from my tutor. So while loops will allow me to continuously run the question until the conditions are not met, which in this case the condition is that the username has to be less than or equal to 5 and has an underscore. So let's see here. Alright, while x dot check username, which is username equals to false, which actually turns true if the username has meets the condition. So first of all I want this to print out, please enter a valid username. Now this username gets stored in the string, which is right over here, and then if x, I have used the if else statement again here. If x dot check username consists of username, which meets all the demands in less than or equal to 5 characters long, contains underscore, then username is successfully captured, and then this line here again makes the output looks a little better, and then this word here, it breaks the while loop. So what happens is that if username is successfully captured, the while loop breaks and allows me to go on to the next method, allows the user to go on to the next question. While otherwise, if the user does not put in the correct details, let's say the user puts in a wrong username and the username does not contain an underscore and is not less than or equal to 5 characters long, it's more than that, then else the system, obviously here I've written the system returns false. So here I have typed out else system.out.print username is not correctly formatted. Please ensure that the username contains an underscore and is no more than 5 characters long. Now guys, this /n just allows me to go into the next line rather than just writing one long line. to make it look better, I like to go on the next line. Okay, so and then it says please re-enter username below, and this thing here, just making the method look better. Now code attribution, here I have written, I used the help of my personal tutor to understand clearly how while loops work and how it repeats the question until the condition is met. Her name is that, and she's a teacher, and she studied IT online, and then she's also used Java. Okay, now let's go into our second method. All right, so remember when we said that if this login feature allows the user to forces the user to have a username and a password. Now password also has conditions. Now this is a method which I have used for password. All right, public boolean check password complexity. All right, this method checks the password complexity. So the password has to have a special character, has to be 8 characters long. The password should contain a number, and the password should contain a capital letter. Now, and to ensure that these requirements are all met, I have written a boolean. Okay, boolean which is named length equals to password dot length. Password is a string, so dot length equals to less than or 8. All right, this ensures that a password has 8 characters long now, and it returns true. Checks if this one here boolean which is named contains special character equals to false. All right, this is actually false because it checks the special character first, and if there is a special character it turns true. All right, same with boolean has digit, which shows that the password has a number, and boolean has uppercase, which ensures that a password has a character which is a capital letter. All right, so for this method I have used the for loop, because I want to go through every single letter of the method of the password and ensure that it consists of a capital letter, a number, a special character, and its length is not more than 8. So for int I equals to 0, I is less than the password length, and I plus plus. Alright, so this checks if the password has a capital letter, a special number, a character, and a number. So char ch equals to password at I. Alright, so char, which is a single character. Alright, it takes in a single character, it's named ch equals to password dot char dot I. So this characters that I put in, every single one of those characters gets replaced by I. So this allows the loop to go through every single one of the characters and ensure that one of the characters are at least not a character. So it ensures that the one of the characters that I've put in as a password, like let's say I've put in a password as hi. Hi is my password. All right, HIGH. Now it's not 8 characters long, but let's just say it's hi. All right, so now this password will not meet the demands, as it there is not a single character in the password that is not a letter or a digit, which is a special character. So if there is not a single digit or a letter inside of my password, let's say if it's let me just write a small comment for you guys, like this here. All right, this itself is not a character or letter, then it will turn true because it is a special number. All right, it will turn true. And then this one checks if the password has a digit, so pass character dot digit ch. All right, this is a ch which is right over there, and it's okay, and it has a digit equals to true. And if password the character dot is uppercase, is one of the characters is uppercase, one of the characters has a number, then it will turn true. So here I have gathered up the if else statement that I've used on top here. So if length and contains a special character and uppercase and digit, this dot password equals to password. So this password gets stored. If this password, this is the password that the user, this is the string that stores the user password. All right, and if it meets all of these conditions, then this password gets stored into this password right over here. All right, okay, so and then where is that, yeah, right over here, then it will return true, else the method will return false and it will not give out anything. All right, so this code attribution, again, I have asked my teacher, my online tutor. She has helped me with this method again. She's taught me how boolean works, so I'm able to do boolean method. So this is my second method. We have used my second method. While, again, I've used the while because I do not want the user to go into the next question before answering the question, the password, correctly. All right, so while x dot check password complexity, and inside the brackets I've put password, which is a string, right over here. All right, right over here. All right, which captures the user password, equals to false. So like this actually, this actually ensures that the password actually is like the password contains all all the conditions, and if it contains all the conditions, it turns true. All right, so if x dot check password complexity, name of my method, password equals to true, and then this ensures that the password has all the requirements, like a capital letter, a number, and a special character, and not more than 8 characters long, then password successfully captured, and it gives this line again to ensure that the output looks good, and break. So this ensures that my loop breaks, it does not continuously go on, and then as soon as the loop breaks, my password is successfully captured and I'm able to go to the next question. Else the loop does not break and password is incorrectly formatted, forward slash and next line. Please ensure that the password contains next line at least 8 characters, a special character, next line, a special character. Alright, so please re-enter your password below, and this line again makes the output looks a lot more better. Alright, so let's move on to my third method. Now my third method here in the login feature allows we have to ask the user a cell phone number. Alright, now we have to ensure that the cell phone number first of all is a South African cell phone number. It consists of +27, it consists of ID, it consists of the international country code, and it's not more than 12 digits. Also, I have included 12 digits because I have included the plus as well. Normally a cell phone is usually 11, but I have said 12 here because I want to include the plus as well. Alright, so boolean length equals to cell phone dot length equals to 12. So this boolean ensures that the cell phone length is equal to 12, whereas this boolean country code, it's called country code, equals to cell phone dot starts with +27. Because cell phone is a string, I'm able to use dot starts with +27. Now this +27 this boolean ensures that my cell phone always starts with a +27, otherwise it will turn false. Alright, so boolean correct cell equals to true. So this boolean correct cell equals to true. So my main reason of adding this right over here, because I want to ensure that the user only puts in digits. He does not put in any letters, because if he does put in any letters, the method turns false and it asks the user the question again. So this check if the user enters numbers, change to false if there is any mistake, and ensures that characters are all digits besides plus, because I don't want plus to be added in this. So how I have caused the plus to how I have caused my system to ignore plus is I have used for loop. In my for loop I have written int I equals to 1. So I have started the cell phone number from 1, which means that I have skipped the plus. Remember, my plus was part of the 12. Alright, I equals to less than cell phone length, which is the 12, and I plus plus incrementation, condition, and initialization. Alright, so I've said that I equals to 1 because I do not want I to read plus. So after plus there are 11 digits, so I reads all the 11 digits. Alright, so char ch, same concept with the password. This is the name of the char, and cell phone dot char dot I. So I replaces every digit of the cell phone and ensures that the cell phone, first of all, if correct, ensures the cell phone every single letter of the cell phone meets the requirements. In this case, I've ensured that every single letter of the cell phone right over here, if it does not contain a character, if it's not a digit, any digit of the any number, any part of my cell phone is not a digit, it will turn out false. And if any part of my and it will turn out false. All right, so now if, on the other hand, if the length has been matched, the country is a country code and the correct cell, which means that there is no any other form of, there's no special characters or any sort of things, then this cell phone equals to cell phone, this cell phone right over here, which I can show you guys, is right over here and here and here. All right, so this cell phone is stored inside this cell phone, which is right on top here. Okay, it gets stored in there. If it's correct, return true, else it does not get stored, returns false, and the method repeats itself. All right, in the main class. Okay, so like right over here, while x dot check username, check cell phone number inside the parenthesis, inside the brackets, equals to false. This checks if the cell phone number is correct. If it's correct, then it returns true. All right, system.order print, please enter a valid South African cell phone with a country code starting with +27. All right, cell phone equals to scan dot next line. This is a cell phone string which I have put in right over there. Okay, if x dot cell phone number with x is the, if you guys know, it's right over here. I have named the name, I think, like that. Okay, cell phone, check cell phone number, cell phone equals to true. All right, so if it meets all the conditions, then cell phone successfully captured, and this line comes on to make the code look nicer, and the loop breaks. All right, the loop should break because my cell phone has been correctly captured. Now I want the user to go on to the next question. All right, so it breaks. Otherwise, else if the cell phone is not correctly captured, let's say the user has not put in the cell phone according to the conditions, then cell phone then else it returns false, which is right over here, returns false else, and cell phone number incorrectly formatted or does not contain international code. Please re-enter your cell phone below. All right, and this is a line again to make the code look good. All right, so after these three main methods in the start, now we are required to create a login feature, login user. All right, using a public boolean. Now this login user actually ensures that the string username, string password, string cell phone actually match this username, which is actually here. Remember, we stored everything in here, right? Every user detail. If the user detail was correct, it would get stored here. Like username was correct, stored here. Password was correct, stored here. Cell phone was correct, stored here. All right. So if this username equals to username, if this username dot equals to username, and this password dot equals to password, and this cell phone dot equals to cell phone, then this method will return true. Will tell the user. Then this method right over here, if I've said if x dot login user, username, password, and cell phone all return true, system dot out dot print welcome plus first name, a gap in between the two names, and last name, it is great to see you again, and then this make the code look better. Else if, now this little thing right over there, it just means that the pass does not equal to. All right, so if x dot login user does not equal to username, password, or cell phone, or everything is incorrect, then user or password is incorrect, please try again. This again makes the code look better. Okay, and then after this code we go into our last code. All right, or after this code we go into our last code. Again, I have code attribution right over here. This is the same guy Alex Lee from YouTube. This is to understand return statements in Java. Okay, this is my last one. Boolean, public boolean return logic status. So return logic status is another method which returns a logic. So if let's say all of my details have gone through and I'm successfully logged in, then it's gonna say a successful login. Otherwise it returns false, it's gonna say not a successful login or a failed login. Okay, so here I have stored a boolean successful login. Okay, so if successful login is true, then it is returned true if it meets all the requirements that I have put on there. Else it returns false. So let's just say, right, let me show you here. Okay, so I've put inside the administrator if else statement for this method. So if x dot return login status equals to true, which is this boolean right over here. Okay, this boolean, if it returns true, system dot order print a successful login, else system dot order print a failed login. Okay, so guys, you have gone through my main class and my method class. So now before going through my test class, I would just like to run the code for you guys once so you guys can see it actually works properly. So first name I would actually add Mohammed, and my last name I would actually add my Salahuddin. Wait, yeah, and enter a valid username. Okay, so mo underscore s. Please enter a valid password. I would actually use hi at 2wt. Okay, so here I have this password is 8 characters long. It has a special character, it has a letter, and it has a number, and it has a capital letter. So it should meet the requirements. Yes, it does. Password successfully captured. Please enter a valid South African cell phone number with a country code starting with +27. So this actually telling me that I should start with +27. So it's going to be +2748 489. I mean, let's just do anything. Okay, so now this should meet the requirements. It does. Okay, because look here, what 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, because I say my method always says 12 because I include the plus as well. Cell phone successfully captured. Welcome Mohammed, it is great to see you again. A successful login. So this is a proof that my method actually works perfect. Now let's go to my test classes. This is my test classes. In my test classes I have assert equals, and I have assert true and assert false. All right, so now more or less all of these methods actually do produce a pass test. they actually work the same. Okay, so public void false test check username. All right, so this username right over here that I put in is false, so let's check if my method actually passes me out. Okay, yes it does. Build success. Okay, and let's go check my true test username. I have put in a correct username, which is 5 characters long and contains underscore. Let's run this one individually. Let's see if it works. Yep, it does work. Zero failures. Okay, and more or less all of these codes work the same. Okay, let me run assert. Let me run, where is that? Assert true. All right, assert true. mm, no, let me run. mm, Let me run for you guys assert false. Okay, yeah, let me just run assert true and assert false. All right, so let's run this one here. By the way, it's again zero failures. By the way, this one ensures that the username is incorrectly formatted. So let's say okay, I already run this one before. Okay, so cell phone number incorrectly formatted, because you can see it is incorrectly formatted here. So it should turn out to be false, but it should pass my method, because it is my method should pick up it's wrong. Yes, or it just pass my method. Let's do cell phone correctly formatted. um Yep, one fail, no failure, zero failure. I can see here zero failure, and test one run and it's passed. Or okay. So guys, this is my entire my entire test file. This is my code method file. I have put code attributions and lots of comments so that I myself can understand as I speak to you and as I do my method. And also I have put a lot of codes in, a lot of comments in here. Thank you guys for watching this video.